hello. Welcome to Let's Get Inclusive, LGI. I'm your girl, Lutando Kekana. And thank you again for joining us, bestie, on your favorite podcast. Today, I am joined by the one and only Mr. Simba Gozo. Guys, he's a friend of mine, eh? So, nyamklay mavelu mngani wami. But you know what? I am so inspired truly by his journey. I mean, he's been on a lot of TV shows. It's a lot, and he's covered magazines, and also he's done a lot of corporate gigs and stuff like that. So he is no stranger to the small screen. He is no stranger to your magazine, and he is no stranger. He is on the microphone. Basically, he's emceed a lot of gigs. So, we're gonna talk media today, him and I, and get on together with that. So, Mr. Gozo,
Yes.
Simba, you know when I think of your name, I can't help it. I just want to sing, and I'm a horrible singer, but needs of us strong. This song comes to mind. I wanna be a mighty king that anyone will know. I can't just turn to be king.
Lion King got you, ne?
No, I can't, really, it did.
Yeah.
It did. So, Mr. King Gozo,
Yeah, bro.
tell me, how has your journey been coming into? Tell me about your first gig, actually.
Oh, first gig.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, you see, that's actually a good question.
Mm.
So funny that I've actually forgotten my first one.
How can you?
I'm literally thinking,
Yeah.
what was the first gig I got? Okay, I'll tell you my first ever big gig, right?
Yeah.
It was walking runway for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week.
Ooh.
And I was the opening for a certain designer. Name is it's called Shipishi.
Yeah.
Gentlemen's wear. So in terms of, he takes prints and incorporates them into, tuxedos and, formal wear. Very, very, very interesting. And I had the task of walking down the runway with a very, very long, what's it called? What do kings wear? Robe.
Yeah.
But it was really, really long. And at the end of the runway, I had to flick it in such a way that it floats in the air and lands as I turn.
Yeah.
So it doesn't crumble up because it's that long.
Yeah.
And I only could practice it once because it would get dirty because it's white as
yes.
well as red.
Ooh.
So obviously practicing is something else because the room is empty. And on a day, the lights are on and the spotlights are on you and it's dark. You can't see where you are.
Yeah.
You remember your count and where you have to do it. And I got it perfectly. I think that was still today, one of my all-time favorite moments,
Yeah.
because the room was quiet as I walked down. There was just like mystical music behind
How
me.
long ago was this?
That was so long ago. Yeah, that was like 2015, I think.
Ah, man.
Yeah.
That was been so nice. And you're obviously you got in through modeling, right?
Yes.
How has your journey been?
It's been very interesting, and very eye-opening. There was literally a time in this world where albinism was fashionable.
Yeah.
For corporates, for advertising and stuff. And
it still is, though. I think so.
It is. I would say it is, but there was a time where it was really. I was not even casting.
Yeah.
I was getting called for jobs. That's how fashionable it was.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was not going. Even also casting, I was being called. Say, hey, dude, come.
Wait.
Here's the amount.
Wait. Now I wanted this conversation with a friend.
Yes.
Is it because you are that good? Because look, you do have a stature of a model.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you. I hope I still have it.
No, you do.
Yes.
So, could that have anything to do with it? Now, was it with the quality of work that you did? Because when you did that shoot for Mercedes-Benz, right on Fashion Week, big stage,
yes.
reputable people are there, right?
Yes.
And you were lucky, maybe, to begin with.
I'm lucky, yes.
But sustainability, to sustain that luck, you
Very
have
true.
to have been good.
Yes. Now, I won't take away from the amount of work I put in to try to get better at it. Every single time I got in front of a camera,
Yeah.
I'd always try, be better than I was on the last shoot because you're only as good as your last, job or last act. So I believe what happened in that moment was that obviously I was good at it, but I also took action to also market myself. So
Yeah.
I took to social media, put my pictures out there, made sure that people saw me and said, okay, I can do this role. Not to
Mm.
say I was the only one. There are a lot of other great models out there that that are also doing way better than me at that time,
Yeah.
and still are. I just, like you said, I think it's luck, but also positioning yourself within the industry as this, I take myself
Making sure
seriously.
that you, when like
Yes.
strikes, you
And,
ready.
and then also the biggest one is, when you go on a job, make sure that you greet everyone.
Yeah.
Most of my jobs that I got, even some of the later ones, was because I had conversations with people that are working in the background, and that's in
Mm.
my nature. It is there just to greet everyone the same way I would greet the producer or the director with the same
Mm.
respect.
Mm.
And so funny that someone that I met back in 2016 ended up hiring me for a very big production because we were friends
Yeah.
on a production, and that person didn't have a significant role, but we were part of that production. So I think, yeah, you're right. Yes.
I think, yeah, because I know a lot of people that get in and then they do that one job,
Mm.
and then that's it. And you
Yes.
got in because they were looking for a certain look
Yes.
or a certain aesthetic, and you fitted that.
Yes.
But because of the work quality that you put out, you then don't sustain, and then it
It's
becomes a
true.
once-off thing.
Yes.
But if you work hard at it, yes, you're lucky if ever you fit a certain aesthetic, and
Correct.
that is in fashion. I mean, they still get in fashion. Plus size is
Very,
in fashion.
everything. Yeah.
Black women are in fashion.
Mm.
Kids are doing well at a certain time,
Yes.
and stuff like that. So, but I'm also wondering because you were just talking about when you get to a shoot or a job, because it
Hmm.
doesn't matter what it is.
Mm.
When you get to a job, you make sure that you are you respect everybody,
Yes.
right? But with that has to be because of the confidence that you exude, which you do,
Mm.
and you're a force to reckon with. You go into
Thank
a
you.
room, people look at you.
Thank you.
That is confidence. Where does it come from? Where did you grow up? How did you grow up?
It's my mother and my father.
Yeah.
Um, my mother made sure that all of us in the household were very confident
Mm.
and we understood who we were from a very young age,
Yeah.
and that anything is possible with hard work. When I was small, when I was very young, I used to get bullied a lot because of how I looked,
Mm.
like terribly bullied. I come home crying, like
Yeah.
they don't want to
Oh.
play with me.
Mm.
They spitting on me. They're doing all types of horrible things to
Congrats,
me.
man.
And I remember this. I still remember it till today. There was one time that was really bad. I came home dusty. I think I even got into a fight with someone. And she took me to the mirror in the bathroom, and she asked me, "What do you see in the mirror?" I
Mm.
remember that particular day they were calling me ugly or something, and it really got to me. I was like, "Oh, I'm ugly." And it's like, "Nope, you're not ugly."
Mm.
She told me what she sees. She says, "I see a very young, handsome, intelligent, hardworking boy." She
Mm.
made me repeat that as an affirmation, in the mirror.
Yeah.
Kept on, "What do you see? What do you see? What do you see?" And every time I came home, she would always ask me, "Go to the mirror and tell me what you
Yo,
see."
that's powerful, hey?
And I think that's where it started. My sister says my mom did a bit, she overdid it because she says nyapa. But but yeah, I would say I have to credit
Yeah.
where I come from and how I was raised and what was instilled in me in terms of values. Taking care of yourself, making sure you look good, even if you're just going to go get bread,
Yeah.
but make sure that you're always presentable. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that I would say would help me.
Which is wonderful. Now, talking of that, the affirmations and the relationship that you have with your parents, and how your mom made sure that your confidence comes from your confidence, your inner beauty, something that is inside. It's an
Hmm.
inside job.
Yeah.
And now you're a family man, married to a very beautiful woman, and
Mm.
you've got beautiful kids.
Yes.
The values that you learned um, from home, are they the same values, or have you upgraded on them? How do you make sure that the person that,
Yes.
yeah, is upgraded, the upgrade of yourself on your kids?
Yeah, it's that's very true. I I believe obviously they live in a different time from us. Their challenges are way different from us, but life still remains the same. It's unfair, and you have to fight for your spots in life. It
Hmm.
won't be handed to you. Whatever you want, it's up to you whether you get it or not. It's not. It doesn't depend on anyone else. You can't
Hmm.
blame anyone else for you not working hard. you know, that's up to you. I always tell myself, right? Uh, Talking about it is not doing it. Writing about it is not doing it. Doing it is doing it.
Yeah.
So we can all have these grand dreams and we can have vision boards, but if we don't do it, we're not doing it. I
Yeah.
think action is very important. I think I try my best
Mm.
to teach them, obviously, how you do anything is how you do everything,
Yeah.
right? Do it once so you don't have to do it twice. So do it
Mm.
right once so you don't have to do it twice. Something I
Oh.
try to teach them
Yeah.
as well. But obviously, it's my first time being a father. I make my mistakes. It's their first time being kids.
Yeah.
They're gonna make mistakes, but it's only I can only do so much. But they're
Mm.
so different in terms of their characters. I can't take the same approach to each of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most beautiful thing is watching them grow and become their own individual
Mm.
people. I mean, the last born of the house, he's the bully. Literally,
Where does he take that from?
I don't know.
The missus or the king?
Hey, I think it's a mixture. He's very, very strong.
Yeah.
He's someone who's when he sets his mind to something, that's it. You're not,
Yeah. How many do you have?
oh wait, how many kids? We have 4 kids in total.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a big family,
It's a big family.
hungry family. Ate too
Hey,
much.
dude, you gotta work. You gotta bring in the bacon. Hey.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So back to the media.
Yes.
In your opinion, having worked on different productions,
Yes.
do you think that people with disabilities are getting diverse roles, or are they also kind of
Good question.
typecast?
Typecast.
Are they?
I think we're getting there slowly. There's only 1 or 2 production. Okay, let's look at something that's airing now on TV, Muvango,
Mm.
right? Tabato that plays that. I don't know what the role he plays, but he's we talk about longevity. He's played that role for a very long time, right?
Mm.
He's doing very well. He's playing a character, but he happens to have albinism.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at, right? That's
Yeah.
that's inclusivity, and that's also projecting another view of different types of disabilities.
Mm.
I think the issue with television and media is that they want to use the disability
Yeah.
for whatever role, right? And I don't think it's in a positive way most of the time. So if I was to get casted in general in terms of a TV show with my albinism,
Mm.
it will always be about me and my albinism and me being portrayed weak and
Yeah.
not me, the gangster who's got 6 wives, has killed 10 people, and I'm
And the
ruthless.
funny thing, there are people like that.
And you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And they don't portray me as the lawyer who's excellent in his job, but we're getting there slowly. I always say
Yeah.
one role at a time, but it's way better than it was, for example, 10 years ago.
True.
But
True.
I always say it is up to us with the disabilities to create those spaces for ourselves. We can't just wait for other people to say, okay, it's your turn to get in the door. I always say sometimes you need to create what you want to be part of. And
Yeah.
that means creating that door that keeps getting closed on you. Create your own door.
Mm.
There's ways of doing it. Everyone is talented,
Yeah.
disability or no disability. We're all creative. We're all able to achieve something if we want to.
True. And I like what you're saying that, you know what, sometimes if you're not getting the opportunities that you want,
Mm.
maybe it's up to you to create that opportunity.
Correct.
Maybe it's yeah, and I like how you think. So speaking of, and I know that um you have a passion for helping especially young kids with albinism.
Yes.
And I know about your drive
Mm.
to get sunscreen.
Yes.
And can you please tell us more about that? And I mean, you never know who's listening, who could be
Yeah.
want to partner with you and
You
stuff
know,
like that.
I don't have an organization or anything. It's not formal. It's just in my own time and when I can. Finances are there.
Yeah.
If I, I'm able to assist, I assist. So one of the biggest challenges I think with albinism is, besides the obvious, right, the skin condition, is the inability to be in the sun for long extended times, and just in general being in the sun. So the skin is very sensitive. You get sunburnt. Others you'll see they've got sunspots, or the skin is damaged from being too long in the sun. But the problem is now it's simple. Say put on sunblock. It's not that simple because the good quality sunblocks are very expensive.
Mm.
An average sunblock, just a bottle, like how many mils? I think it's like 250 mils. It's about almost 300 rands, and that's a lot
That's
to,
a lot of money.
yeah, to other to other households, right? For me, maybe I'm like, it's something
Mm.
I'm so used to buying. I've been very privileged in the position I am, where I can afford just to buy even three bottles of one go for myself.
Mm.
But other people can't do it. Other people don't have access to heads. And I think the biggest thing is information. It's very interesting that when the child is born with albinism, most of the nurses or doctors don't know how to look after the child or tell the parent this is what you need to do with this type of child. These are the
Mm.
challenges. So when I get a chance and if a parent contacts me, I give that information where I can. I also assist with the
Yeah.
sunblocks. But I believe the sunblock thing, it's a big thing. We need to fight it as well, but as well as education.
Yeah.
Put your hat on, put your long sleeves on, especially if you're going to be walking somewhere and don't have a car, because our appearance is what we have. I don't
Yeah.
want to sound vain, but
Yay!
if
It's
you look
right.
good,
It's
you feel
right.
good.
When you
But
look good,
now,
you feel
if
good.
you don't feel good because your skin is burnt and you got sores,
You know what?
it takes a lot out of you to get that confidence to walk in a room and say,
Yes.
"Here I am as Simba."
I actually agree with you because one of my gripes is actually with the disability grant. I usually go like, well, it's nowhere near enough and it could be a lot for other people.
Yes.
Because if we were to look at the needs of a person,
Mhm.
not the money that we give in,
Mm.
right? To say that this child needs to go to school, they need ABC
Mm.
to be confident to function
Yes.
normally in
Mm.
a society.
Correct.
Instead of giving them the money, why not give out vouchers? Then that's where you would actually see how
Mm.
much you actually need, or cater to people as per need,
Yes.
right? Um, Instead of this disability grant, for me, it's just perpetuating poverty. But that's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's another discussion for
Mm.
another day. But there is actually one important question that I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you. Yes, never mind. I remember. Um, Looking at you, your disability, your achievements, I don't even know if nowadays I've got this issue with the name disability because
Yeah. And I also don't like it. Don't lie.
I do have
Differently
issues.
abled, you can try that. I don't know.
I
Even
don't
that
even
one
know. I don't know.
sounds
I think that we all have our abilities,
correct.
and we all have
Very
our
true.
shortcomings as every
Ah,
human
very
being
true.
in this
Yes.
universe. And for me, is the minute it's like an item. When you disable it,
I'm with
what
you.
does it mean? But in
It
any
no
case,
longer functions. That was one of my biggest gripes I had for the longest.
yeah.
When I was especially working in corporate, I would never tick the disabled box because for the longest, obviously, I believe that words are very powerful, and it may not sound important, but
Mm,
to call yourself disabled, and like you said, when you disable something, what happens? It no longer functions, and that's not
mm.
true
Yeah.
in anyone's case. It's just that there's something I can't do that you can do, and vice versa. In my position, there's something I can do that the other person can't do.
Or you can do it, but you just do it a little bit
But
differently, or you take a
exactly,
bit longer to do. But
exactly. But in the end, we
it
all
will
have
be
our
done.
challenges,
Yes.
and I always say like it's like a box of Smarties, right? They're all different colors. Some are even melted together. But at the end of the day, they're all chocolates inside. We're all
Mm,
humans, right? And that's how what it is. We come in different colors, different forms, different shapes, but we're from the same box.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're human, and we all have
Mm,
challenges, and we all have
like
things
that.
we are fighting for daily, or
Mm,
battles that we have that others may not know of.
yeah.
And I think as a country and as humans, we are not kind to each other, but most of all, we're not kind to ourselves.
We're not. We're not. But I do think that now, because this term has evolved a lot.
Yeah.
There was a time when people would call people with special needs or special people, special
Mm,
treatment, and people got tired of being. I mean,
yes.
you're not special. Now you've seen as people who's got superpowers,
Correct.
and that's and for real.
Mm,
Because I mean, just because I am on a wheelchair does not necessarily mean that I'm stronger than the next person.
correct.
It does not mean that I am tougher
Mm,
or anything. I'm just human with my own human challenges, and I just want to have a human
mm,
experience, whatever that experience is
yes.
that I'm faced with.
But you know what I've learned living with my challenges.
Mm.
And I can also I it's something when we first met that I noticed in you. Your drive is bigger than most people's drive. Your 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 willingness and your what's the word I'm looking for? But basically your ambition and what you want is bigger than most people. There's things you have achieved that able-bodied people, like for a better word, have not achieved and cannot achieve even if they tried. And I think that's solely on you knowing this is my life, this is my choice, and I do it so well.
Thank you
When
so
you
much.
told me that story when you went on the road trip with your kids and you had
Yeah.
the one baby and you're changing in your car, and I was like, I'm not trying to do that with my kids, but there's Lutando doing that, and
Yeah.
I think in the moment you're not even realizing what you're doing.
No, you don't.
So
You don't.
that's what I'm saying. That drive in you is so big that
You're
it's a
just living
part
your
of you.
life. You're just
That's
living
it's
your
just you.
life.
You're like, okay, it may take me longer to do this, but I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
regardless.
But then
So
again,
that's the superpower that we laughed about, but I mean, I think that is a superpower.
hmm, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
I just thought of living my life.
Yes.
But then that comes to my next question. With you, your life, and everything that you go through,
Hmm.
do you think on a normal scale,
Yeah.
are you bigger than life?
Bigger than life. What do you mean by that? Like, do I feel like
However,
you know what? You know what?
how does that question sound to you?
It sounds like you're asking me if I feel I'm bigger than this place I'm on, this earth. But I think that's not what you're trying to say. I think you're asking me, with everything I go through and what I've achieved, do I feel like I'm big? No, I don't. I believe my path and everything, how everything laid that was laid out for me by God or whoever you believe in, but there's someone behind all of this, my father, whoever. I believe it was my job was to open the doors for others behind me. I believe my journey was to show everyone what anyone else is capable of doing. Anyone, albinism, no albinism. But if you really fight for it, and you really want it, and you put the work in, you can achieve it.
Mm,
When I used to go for castings, they were casting for a male with albinism. I used to contact the other guys with albinism that didn't know about it and say, "Let's go."
yeah. Oh, that's big of you.
I don't. For me, it wasn't about. Yes, I would love to get the role and get
Mm,
the money, but if I'm not the right one for that role, and someone else is, why not?
wow.
Why not we win together?
Yo.
Why not we all go together?
Yeah.
Today is not my day. Can't every single casting. I can't be
Wow.
casted for every single thing.
Wow.
But
Actually, that's very big of you. That I
yeah,
mean, I mean, even like Hollywood A-listers, they don't do that. People
nah.
keep things
The
for
pot, the pot,
themselves,
the pot,
and
the pot is so big.
yeah.
It's so huge, and I think the issue is that we work against that, not together. Once we work together, we're able
Mm.
to do so much. It's
I love
so.
I love your prosperity mindset. Actually, it's not a scarcity mindset that
Mm,
it has to be here, and you panic and you want to keep things to yourself.
yeah,
I that there's so much lesson in that. You've got no idea. I mean, anyone listening to this, if there's anything that you need to grab, that is it.
yeah,
If it's not my turn today, let it be my brother's.
mm,
It still belongs in the family.
yeah.
Wow.
We're all winning. I mean, for me, that was the whole thing. Was I was tired of it. I'll say it when I say albinism being portrayed as this weakness and soft and like
Mm,
we can't do anything. So I mean, I've been fighting this even in corporate. I'm an IT project manager,
mm,
right? I manage large projects,
yeah.
and I remember having to fight in the boardroom, not because I wasn't able to do the job, but I had to show them that because I've got albinism, I can do it. The questions were, but he looks like this, can he? And I was like, what does that
What?
even
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Here's my
Like,
here's my CV, here's the qualifications. I got hired. I'm here to do it. You're gonna listen to me. That's how we're gonna do it. And then you get the little smocks, the little
mm,
jokes that come in, and I'm like, what do you mean by that?
mm,
Elaborate. Because
oh,
once you allow those little silly jokes to go
mm,
by, then they think it's okay to disrespect you on a daily. And I
mm.
think I'm a proud person myself now, and maybe I come across sometimes as arrogant, or pompous. But no, I love myself. I mean, I don't wait for self validation. My mother
Yeah.
told me that I validate myself.
You know what the thing that I've actually come to pick up
Mm.
is when you stand up for yourself, when you speak for
Mm.
yourself, and you affirm yourself,
Yes.
people who have issues with their own confidence tend to say that you're arrogant.
Oh, yes, they pick at it. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
But
because they're expecting you to laugh their rubbish
yeah.
jokes because they projecting whatever issues they've got onto me. I've got no issues. The way I look is the way I look. I'm not trying to
Mm,
change it. I've I've accepted it. I love it. It's who I am. It's how I was supposed to
yeah.
be. You know, it's got its challenges, but it's who I am, and I'm making the best of it.
You're making the best of it.
I'm
You
making the best
truly,
of it.
you truly
Yeah.
are. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been our conversation with Simba Gozo, King Simba Gozo. I think that's what I'm going to call him from now on
Yes.
because he really is royalty. Thank you so much, Simba, for joining us on the podcast. And I hope we're going to have another episode with you because you are
I
just
really
a
enjoyed it.
wealth of knowledge. And I think there is so many young boys really that can learn so much from you.
Yes.
Especially, I love the fact of maybe you should do something on anti-bullying, hey? Because
Mm.
I think there's a lot of kids
Yeah.
that are living with disabilities that are going through bullying.
Yeah.
And tell me here, which school did you go to do mainstream or did you do?
Mainstream all the way.
I love this.
All
I
the way.
love this. So we are gonna have more conversations because there's that's another pot together,
Yes.
you know.
That's another one
So
I don't agree with.
yes, that is another conversation where we're going to talk about access to education, and kids having the choice, actually, the
Mm.
right to choose which school they have to go to,
Exactly.
despite of their challenges that
Correct.
they face. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look, Lutando. Okay, you happy?
Thank you.